MPow is a Chinese audio manufacturer that specializes in budget offerings. When it comes to value products, they're one of the reigning kings of the space. Well, they recently got into gaming peripherals and reached out to me to test one of their gaming headsets to see if it offers the same competitive value proposition that their other products do. Let's take a look. The MPow EG3 is a surround sound gaming headset that retails for roughly $25. And if by the end of this review you decide to pick one up for yourself, then please consider using our affiliate links to do so. We definitely appreciate that. But make sure you wait till the end, because I have a few comments to make that may influence your decision. The EG3 is silver with black accents and is mostly understated with only a subtle amount of branding. The industrial design is definitely unique in the space, and that metal tension headband is something I don't see very often. It kind of has this steampunk kind of vibe. It is flexible but surprisingly very sturdy, and the outside has a classy white LED lighting. It has 50mm drivers, USB connectivity, supports 7.1 digital surround sound, has lighting effects, tension adjustments, that's supposedly one size fits all, but we'll get back to that in a minute. There's also an adjustable microphone with a pop filter. Some headsets cut cost by having a little pop-down microphone that sits here next to your face. The benefit to those is that they're inexpensive, they don't need a filter on them. But on this headset microphone, it's highly adjustable and it sits directly in front of your mouth, so it's going to get the best quality audio being captured, and it's also going to be louder than the alternatives, but it does need some sort of filter on there. The controls to adjust the volume and the mute functionality are on the headset instead of the cable, and that cable is really long at over 7 feet. That's definitely convenient. But enough about specs. Let's talk about my personal experience with the device, starting with the microphone. As you can hear, the audio quality is perfectly acceptable. You can hear me just fine. There's really no noticeable concern with the microphone quality. And again, with microphones, it doesn't really matter as long as you can understand me and I can convey information to you and you can understand it clearly. That's really all you need to be concerned with. The flexibility allows it to be directly in front of my mouth, which allows the audio to be louder than a lot of other budget offerings. And it can do that because it has this included pop filter. As far as usability goes, it functions pretty well. There's just a few really interesting quirks that you should definitely be aware of. The biggest one is the fact that the mute button took me like 10 minutes to find. It wasn't until I looked it up online that I found out you have to slide off the pop filter to locate that mute button. I guess that's not super unheard of, but it definitely makes muting the microphone really inconvenient. Now, a lot of the promotional material and the packaging and the videos that go along with it don't show a pop filter on the microphone, which makes a little bit more sense in that at least you can see that the mute button is there. But if I try to, as you noticed, use the microphone without a pop filter, everything falls apart. So it's definitely possible that they added that pop filter on later. The USB connectivity is nice because it supports 7.1 digital surround sound, but it also restricts the number of platforms that it supports. Xbox is out of the question. Even though Xbox, of course, has USB ports, you cannot use a USB headset. I tried, it doesn't work. PS4 apparently can use most USB headsets. I did not test that, but from what I understand, it can do that. But this is mostly geared toward PC because you will need a PC to utilize that digital surround sound. Next, let's talk about the comfort of the headset. And this is definitely its weakest point. That's not to say it's uncomfortable, but it's not very well thought out. It doesn't sit quite right on my head. First of all, it's definitely too big. It feels like it's hanging off of my ears, and I feel like I have a pretty average sized head. So that definitely doesn't work. And the ear cups themselves are pointed inward, like the front of the ear cups press tightly against the side of my head in front of my ears, but behind my ears they don't even touch my head. It's advertised as having breathable ear cups, and to their credit, my ears never felt overheated. In spite of my concerns with the comfort, the audio quality is really good. It sounds very, very, very clear, and unlike other budget offerings, this one does not lose quality even at max volume, and this thing gets super loud. Just for perspective, I listen to this thing at about 60% volume, and I have no desire to turn it up any louder than that, but you can, and rest assured that you will still have that same crystal clear audio quality, and that is of course supported by those large 50mm drivers. Now, the bass is definitely lacking. It feels like it's trying a little bit too hard, but even in some of the advertising material, it says that they turn up the mids and turn down the bass intentionally, the algorithm for this headset, so that it can accentuate some of the noises you're looking for and give you better positional awareness. Whether or not that's true remains to be seen. It does work pretty well as a competitive headset, and even if you don't like the way that it sounds, if you're using it on PC, you can of course download software that can adjust some of those levels. From what I can tell, that 7.1 digital surround sound toggle has almost a negligible effect on the sound signature that the headphones produce. I don't feel any more immersed in the world by turning on the digital surround sound. On some headphones, it's a noticeable difference. On this one, I really don't notice it at all. It also doesn't isolate noise very well. With the headphones on and the music low, I can still hear everything around me, and that's probably because it does not create a good seal around your ears. But despite my largely positive opinions of the headset, I actually can't recommend it. MPow recently released a pro version of this exact same headset that addresses a lot of my most critical concerns. The mute switch is moved to the cable, the ear cups have an improved design, they added an LED indicator to the microphone, and the addition of a 3.5mm connection provides compatibility with all other platforms. Best of all, the Pro version is essentially the same price as the standard version. Actually, when I wrote the first draft of this script, the Pro version was $2 cheaper, so maybe they just have extra inventory of the standard version they're trying to get rid of. The only drawback to the EG3 Pro is that you'll miss out on that 7.1 digital surround sound. But as good as the headset is, it's not really the type of device that's going to make the most of a surround sound experience. In my opinion, the added user functionality is well worth the compromise. But you'll have to make that decision for yourself, and if you want to see other headset reviews, budget peripherals that we've reviewed, go ahead and check out those videos over here, and make sure you're subscribed so you know when our newest content is ready to watch. And while you're down there, check out the video description where you will find links to these products that we've mentioned over on Amazon. Those are affiliate links. We definitely appreciate that. And if you want to support us by buying some of our awesome t-shirts, we definitely appreciate that as well. And make sure you check that description often for giveaways that we run basically on a monthly basis. Well, thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you in the next one.